Dustin Weinkoff here with Agland. Today we're going to go through on how to take apart and rebuild your meter roller from your 1910 Aircart. So to rebuild the meter roll, very simple in tools we need. We'll need a 16 mil wrench, a 15 mil wrench, a 13 and impact, an 8 mil, a scraper. The scraper will be used to remove the old silicone on the meter roll, a utility knife to cut the weather stripping, and last, just any type of silicone to seal and help hold the cups in. So the first thing we're going to do is take our handle off here. Be a 15 millimeter wrench. The other side you can hold it with an 8 mil. And this handle is what will take our gate detection rod out. It's very important if you start to have any gate detection errors at all that we remove this rod and check for any corrosion. Handle comes off. Then we will pull out this rod. Now you'll notice on model year 2019 and newer carts, there will be a powder coated rod here. So if your rod is a stainless steel rod, this is what the replacement will be. First thing we'll do is we'll check for any corrosion damages on it. And this one looks good. Next, what we'll do, take a 13 millimeter and we'll remove this. Sometimes this can be seized on. You can put a bar in and pull the cap off. Next, we'll remove our locking handle. Take our handle off and our end cap. Now when you do this, you'll want to make sure you have a fresh weather stripping, as we'll take this off and install a new one after the rebuild is complete. This little tab here, we'll make sure it goes back on at the end to hold the weather stripping from folding up. Now, as we take these apart, each cartridge will come apart. What we'll notice is there's places in here where material can get stuck. So as we take these apart, we'll blow this out. We can wash these out and make sure that our brushes are in good condition. Again, we can inspect our meter rolls. If we need to replace any tuning rings, this will be the time to do so. And you'll notice in our two sections here on a 6-run cart, we have these blocked off. They're siliconed in. What we'll do is we'll take the silicone off so we can remove everything, clean it out, and when we reinstall the blocking plates, we'll re-silicone it back on. And there we have our meter roll completely disassembled. So now that we have our meter roll disassembled, we'll want to make sure that everything is clean. You can use an air gun here, blow out all these passageways, as well as once you get it out and have your brushes out, you can put it into blow it down, put it into a barrel of water, clean it all off, get rid of any fertilizer, corrosion, dust, and then let them dry out really well before we put them together. And this is also a really good time to change any worn brushes. What you will notice is any of our roller cartridges that do have tuning rings in, they will have wear through the brushes. So that is fine. Just make sure during assembly that they go back in the proper position. If these brushes are wore down, what we'll start to see is siphoning out of our tank, which will include over application of our product that we're trying to apply. Now we've got everything clean, laid out on the bench here. As we go to do reassembly, what I like to do is lay all my meter segments out in the proper order that they're going to go in. As well, when I put my cartridge together, we want to make sure that any cartridge section that has a tuning ring has a brush that has tuning ring marks installed. As you can see there's some wear marks. So we just want to make sure that those ones with tuning rings are going back in those positions. Now we're ready for reassembly. As we put the cartridges back on, there is one way for them to go to line up with your end cap. Always remember, put your roller on, cartridge, and keep repeating. Now that we have our roller assembled, we'll start with putting on our end cap. When putting on our cap, we want to make sure that the hole here lines up to put our magnetic rod through. And it's important to put this rod in before the handle. Go in like this. Take our handle, up part goes here towards this tab. And when we tighten these up, we want to make sure that we don't get them too tight to over-compress the cartridges, or our meter won't turn properly. This one here we will loosen off after to put our clip in to hold our weather strip. Once we have it tightened down, I like to spin the roller to make sure that it spins freely. Next, we put our end cap on. You can spray this with fluid film so it doesn't get stuck on there if we need to remove it and rebuild it at a later date. First, put our washer on. Drop our bolt in and put a nut. We can now tighten. Next, what we'll do is we want to install our blankings if we have a 6-run meter cart. Those two are going to go in our center here. What I like to do is put them in, make sure they're snapped into place, and then take some silicone and put it around to seal it and allow it so they don't fall out. Next, what we're going to do is we'll put our locking handle in. One thing to note as you're putting this together, make sure that this center spacer is in the center here to hold your locking rod. Take this. And tighten it. Once we have that locked, our next step is to install the weather stripping. So starting with our weather stripping from the cap side, get it up nice and close there. And just as we lay it down, make sure we're pressing it in evenly. Doing these meter rolls, I recommend changing this every time, not just slicing it at the segments. So we're going to cut our weather stripping here. Remove it. Now we'll need to install this clip we talked about before. I'll loosen off the top handle. Slip this behind the washer. Down like that. And we'll retighten it. So that wraps up how to rebuild and clean out your meter roll. One thing we'd like to mention for storage is to leave the sensing rod pulled out for the rest of summer and winter. Any moisture that collects in there then won't eat at the rod. Just remove your handle, remove the sensing rod, put the handle back on. Store the rod in a place where it won't get damaged or bent. I'd like to thank all of you today for watching on how to rebuild your meter roller. I'd like you guys to like our channel and tune in for more how-to videos.